Hi and welcome back to the channel. This is Rideshare by the UK and my name's Kevin, and today we're doing a Mystro shift. So I'm going to use the Mystro app to try and filter out the best jobs. So it's 8:30. I've just been down, picked up a new set of windscreen wipers and some new cards. I've got my taxi test on Monday. Car goes in for its MOT on Monday. So I've put on brand new tyres all round. It was serviced a couple of weeks ago with no problems. Put some new wipers on. And that's about all you really need to do to worry about taxi tests with an EV. I'll top up the fluid, the washer fluid. And later this week I'll just do a quick walk around and check all the lights are working. But having an EV means you don't have to worry about any oil leaks, don't have to worry about any water leaks, you don't have to worry about emissions. It's just a plain sailing. It should go straight through without an issue. So that's what I've done this morning. Picked them up from the post office distribution centre as they couldn't deliver it over the bank holiday. But we are going to go for Mystro today. I'm going to start off with quite a limited amount of filters. One of the things you don't want to do is put so many filters on the job that you get no jobs. So let's just open up Mystro and right, so let's go into the filters. I'm only going to do auto rejects at the moment. I'm going to clear everything that's on at the moment. And I'm going to put in 2 to start with. The first one, I don't want any jobs more than 2 miles. We'll start with 2 miles. And then the other one I want to make sure of is that the user rating is at least 4.5. So let's do 3. And the final one is minimum fare of £4.50. So I've set those in the filters. Let's close that off. So I now just need to set in the actual values. You hit the red part and you can change the values. So pickup distance will be rejected if the distance is more than 2 miles. If the user rating is below 4.5, it'll be rejected. And if the fare is less than £4.50, it will be rejected. So that's all my filters on. We'll start off with that. Then as the day goes on, I might add a filter for the value of the job, an hourly value, or might go for mileage value. Haven't decided yet. We'll see what happens. So let's turn on Uber.
Turn on Uber.
It's opening up Uber for me. So let's just hit the go button. And now we want to go back to Mystro. I want to do it through the filters, not direct. Oh, there's a lot there. It's on trip radar. Let's just close them all off.
Uber online.
And we went.
Uber ride for approval.
There we go. That's our first ride. £5.64, worth £24.30 an hour. So let's.
Offer expired.
Didn't move quick enough. You still only get 10 seconds on the job. Here's another one. Let's accept that. No longer available. Right, let's see what happens. That one come through. It was worth £6.96 and the mileage hourly rate was worth £24.60. So we're off on our first Mystro trip. We didn't get very far, I just cancelled. Let's take that one, £14. 7 minutes away, worth £30 an hour.
Pick up on Chepstow Road.
Let's go for it. Right, that job was done, £30. I'll go into bit deeper at a later stage when I get a break, because I want to work out whether the information given by Mystro includes the running time, or is it just pick up to drop. I think it includes running time looking at it, but we'll do a double check later. Now, dropped off, no problem. Now, this is an issue, or maybe it's not. I've had 2 jobs come in, which I've accepted, and within a few minutes, the riders have cancelled. Now, I don't normally get that quick cancellation that often until I dropped. So I don't know whether that might be down to the app, or maybe it's just that I'm in Pontypool. Oh, here we go again, we've got another one. Actually, that shouldn't have gone through because I put a minimum fare of £4.50 and that was £4. Oh no, it was £4.53, I think it was. But the offer's expired. So, yeah, as I was saying, I don't normally get 2 cancellations like that. Maybe because I'm in Pontypool and we don't have a lot of cars in Pontypool, so they were just trying to market. Don't know. Interesting. But looking at later filters, for me to make national minimum wage, I have to turn over on shift about £22 an hour. Now, if you say you're only working, say, 60% of the time, that means on my actual working time, I've probably got to make about £32 an hour. So each trip has to be worth £32 an hour. So I could put that in as a filter later. That first job I'd done was worth £30 an hour. And we'll see what happens. But let's just play about with this at the moment. Keep it with just those 3 filters. And we'll see what happens. Right, this is £34 an hour. £7.38. Let's take that. Accepted. So, Pontypool Leisure Centre I'm going to, but I'm stuck in traffic at the moment. So, what happens when you accept a job is that Mystro will then open up the Uber app, and if you're multi-apping, it then turns you off or switches off the other apps, so you're not going to be interfered with by other apps. And then once you complete the job, you just do it as normal, and then you have to slide down the top and just pick up Mystro to reopen Mystro. Yeah, we're getting there. Right, so that's the second job done. It's now 9:30, so I've been out for an hour, and I'm on £21.80 in an hour. So, not hitting my £22, but not too far off. And I've only got those 3 filters, which is no more than 2 miles away. Now I've got a problem. I'm in Mummy Lad, so I'm more than 2 miles away from an Uber pickup probably. Minimum fare £4.50 and rating of at least 4.5. Those are 3 filters I'm currently running. I will add another filter on later this afternoon, but let's just get used to these. I've just taken another job. For a job, it's 10:15. Very quiet time because it's quiet hours. But this is worth £33 an hour, £33.60 an hour on my drive time. Right, that job was from Imperial Way out to Heron Road in Cardiff. On the way, I got fed another job, 1.3 miles away. So I'm off to do that. And I wonder if it's that filter for stacked rides. If you switch that on, does it stop taking jobs while you're en route? We'll give that a try later. The other thing I want to give a try right now is after I've done this job, I need to go to the loo. And I want to get the windscreen wipers changed. And I've got 80 miles left on charge. So I could do the charge up while it's quiet in the dead hours before we start moving into the busy afternoons. So once I've done this job, I'm going to set a filter for destination back to the Asda at Dufferin, and we'll see if that works. Then I can go to Lou, do the wipers, grab a coffee, and then we'll go down to Tesla at Celtic Manor and do a charge up, ready for the afternoon, because it's now 22:11. Right, I'm picking up at McDonald's, going local on the Cardiff front, worth £25 an hour on this one. But I've just looked at the Mystro app, and you have the option there of a last ride mode. So I've switched the last ride mode on, so I shouldn't get any more because I need to go to the loo myself. And then after that, I need to go get a charge up. Right, so I've set my destination in Uber to go to Asda Dufferin, and I've set the filter on Mystro to reject jobs which are not going into this way out. I hate these these new residential estates. You never quite know how to get off them sometimes. So any jobs which aren't going towards Asda Dufferin should be rejected. We'll see how that goes, but I'm on the way there now. Time for a coffee break and such. What I've noticed is on some of the jobs that's come through, I've hit accept, and then it comes back as saying job has expired. I'm going to say, I don't know for certain, but I reckon that those are trip radar jobs, which I haven't been successful on. And it just comes back. So it's quite good in that it throws away a lot of these trip radars, which you would never do anyway. So positives is that I'm not being fed crap, so I'm not sat in my car looking at jobs which just aren't worth doing, getting depressed, saying, God, Uber is bad, because the only jobs I'm getting fed, the only jobs I'm seeing on the app are good quality jobs, and I'm accepting them all. So that's really good for mental health, really good for the motivation, and just really good. It brings back enjoyment for the job. So that's the main big positive. The second big positive is that I'm not using my brain so much. Before, you get a job come through and you'd have to work out, all in 10 seconds, whether the job was profitable or not. You'd have to work out your mileage rate or your hourly rate or whatever it is you go by. Unless, of course, you're one of those people who take every job that Uber feeds them. And that's all done by the app. So the app does all that filtering, all that calculations. And it just makes it more enjoyable for the job. So far, it's 5 to 11, so I've been out, 2.5 hours. I'm very happy with the way it's working. Job-wise, not so great. I think I've done about £33 in those 2.5 hours. But it is a quiet time. Let's just have a quick look. £37.79 in 2.5 hours. Had a good first hour. Then it took me 40 minutes to get back from Mamilad because of the traffic along the motorway, well, not motorway, dual carriageway. And then it's just been ticking over steady. But we'll have a closer look at the jobs when we get to Dufferin. Okay, so a quick update on the app. The figures given include your running time and your running mileage to the job from where you are to drop off. So the thing that I've noticed is if a customer cancelled, it still shows on the Mystro app. I think I figured out how to pronounce it now. It's Mystro. It still shows up as being accepted and gives full details of the job, even though the customer is cancelled. But that doesn't matter. Mystro is not reporting to the taxman. Uber is reporting to the taxman, and on the Uber app it says cancelled. So the first job I accepted was that one out to Pontypool. So the base fare was £14. No surge, no boost, no tip. It was a Uber X. The ride length, including the run out to the passenger, was 11.4 miles. Ride duration, 28 minutes. The hourly rate worked out at £30 an hour. And the mileage rate was £1.23 a mile. So that was accepted. That passed all the filters. So you can see that in the accepted column. So let's have a look at another one. Here's an Uber X Priority. So that was from the Pontypool Leisure Centre to Mermaid Island. Total fare £7.38. Uber X Priority job. So it says total fare £7.38. The base is £7.38 plus £2.15 for priority pickup. So that was a ride length 3.9 miles, 13 minutes, including time to get to the passenger. Worked out at an hourly rate of £34.06 and a mileage rate of 189. So that's not too bad. So those are sort of accepted. The rejected jobs, which the filter rejected. Let's have a look at some of those. So first one was Drovers Mews to Victoria Crescent. That was declined because the total fare, the base fare was £4, the total fare was. So it wouldn't have passed my £4.50 minimum requirements. So that got kicked off. Let's have another look. Cambrian Road and Queensway to Cardiff. Why did that not get declined? Oh, the time was 2:19. Oh, that's not even today. That was just that was when I was playing about with it. Let's have a look at what I'm from today. Pontypool to Mahalad. That was declined for £4.43. And then I think the guy rebooked it as a priority. And when he booked it as a priority, it picked up as a priority, and I did that. Because it then took the fare over to the £4.50 mark. Let's have another look at Conway to Allway, £9.35, which was a priority. Declined. Let's have a quick look at that. Declined. £3.37. Yeah, it was over 2 miles away from where I was, so that was declined. I think it was 6 miles away because I was stuck in traffic as well. So yeah, no problem at all. Some good ones accepted. The thing I really like about it is that I don't have to work it out all in my head as to whether the job's good enough or not. It comes through and it's good enough. And that's really helpful of my mental health and my motivation. Because there's nothing worse than sitting in the car, turning down jobs because they're not worth doing, for you to go, oh, sod this, I'm going home. So although you don't get as many jobs coming through to you, the jobs that do come through to you are worth doing and you accept them. So I've been more than happy this morning because I've not turned anything down. I haven't had many jobs coming through, but those that have come through have been worthwhile doing. And I'm not getting frustrated or annoyed turning down crap, which doesn't do you very good for your motivation. So that's really good as well. It's really good app. I like the app. It's a shame they're not on Bolt. If Bolt, I could use Bolt as well and multi-app, that would be perfect. But we'll have to wait for Lyft to go nationwide, and then once Lyft goes nationwide, I can multi-app on that, so that'd be good. I've had a couple of jobs come through which I've accepted, but I've come back saying it's been expired, and I think those are basically trip radar jobs. So I've just filled up at Tesla. Let's get unplugged and let's get back to work. Let's get Mystro kicked back up. What I might do this afternoon when it starts picking up is put on an auto accept filter, so anything paying over £35 an hour will be automatically accepted. So that would be quite good. Right, I think I might have found the first negative thing about this Mystro app. That last job I picked up, I was trying to find the timer, because it was a few minutes before he came out, and I was trying to see where the timer is for the cancellation, and I couldn't find it. So I don't know whether there's something goes on with the app which stops the timer from coming up. So I'll have to keep my eye on that and see if it's just one of those glitches, or whether maybe Mystro itself has its own timer. I don't know. But picked the guy up, sound as a pound, delivered him, and we're back on the road. Right, it's been quite a good morning. Financially not great, £61 so far, but it's 20 past 1, so I'm going to go for some lunch. Grab some lunch before the afternoon kicks off, which normally starts to happen about 2:30. Yeah, very happy with the app, the way Mystro's going. In fact, I might even start looking at maybe going into Cardiff to work. The one thing that kept me away from Cardiff was it's so much traffic, and you're concentrating on the traffic. You got passengers talking to you all the time. You're trying to figure out where you're going, and then you get hit with jobs constantly popping up. But with this app, it really reduces the amount of jobs that's popping up and allows me to just select what I want. So I might look at taking this into Cardiff one of the days and seeing how it works in Cardiff, and whether it makes Cardiff working acceptable. Certainly no complaints. Certainly a lot happier coming out to work and not have to constantly deny work because it's no good and it's crap. I just don't get to see those jobs. Which just makes me generally happier, and makes me happier for the customers as well. Customers get a better service. I just feel better. So yeah, let's just go off now and grab some lunch and see how we do this afternoon. Right, so that's the lunch over. I've switched back on. Now it's 2:15. Now, my drive time hours at the moment is hitting just over £30 an hour. So, I was on 5 hours this morning, but I did about an hour and 15 minutes off when I went to had a coffee and then went to charge the car up. And then I also got caught up in the traffic about 20 minutes longer than it would normally take to get back from Pontypool. So I've used the drive time on the Uber app, 2 hours, 6 minutes in that 5 hours, and £61.90. So pretty much £30 an hour turnover. Right, that was a quick trip up to the Amazon at Celtic Park. I've now added on an auto accept filter, and I've set it for any job that is worth more than £30 an hour to automatically accept it. So we'll see if we can get any auto acceptance. I don't know which filter comes first. Does the auto accept come first, or does the auto reject come first? Because if the auto accept comes first, it may be that a job that's worth £30 could be more than 2 miles away, might be 5-6 miles away. So we'll see what happens on that sort of distance as to whether which one comes first, acceptance or the rejection. Okay, so I've just had an auto offer come through. It was matching on Trip Radar, but I didn't get it. However, even though it was worth £31.40 an hour, it was 3 miles away. So it looks as though those filters operate independently. and the auto accept will take place before the rejection filters. I don't want to be running around 3-4 miles in a rush hour for a job, especially as, even though it said £31 an hour, it was only quite a small job. So I've turned the auto accept off, and I'm sticking with just the auto reject. So the worst jobs are rejected, and the other jobs come through to me, and I do them. So I may look at that auto reject, because I can set up a reject job if it's worth less than £5, well, £30 an hour, and then I'll just have to press accept button, and hopefully I'll get it if it's a trip radar, get it if it's an exclusive job. But yeah, I think the best thing to do if you want to run this efficiently is to stick to either auto accept or auto reject. Otherwise you may not get the filters done that you want done. So just a little bit of help and advice there. This is what I'm finding out my first day on shift with Mystro. Overall though, it's pretty good.
Uber ride for approval.
Let's try that one. A lot of rides are coming in at around the £24-25 mark.
Head to your pickup at Newport Student Village.
Although I do get quite a lot of £30-pounders.
Enter the roundabout and take the third exit.
So what I might do is next time I come out is I'll put on an auto reject filter for jobs paying less than £25 an hour. So I don't do those 24s, 23s type, and try and edge my hourly rate up. Because I need to do £22 an hour shift time, not drive time. And for drive time, I think we're looking at got to be £35 an hour drive time to
turn left on
£22 an hour shift time. And that £22 an hour shift time will basically give me national minimum wage rate of £12.20. So it's not being excessive going for £22 an hour. I would like to hit £30 an hour, and that'll give me £15-16 an hour wage. But yeah, I think Uber is definitely a minimum wage job now, even if you work really well and work really efficiently and use the apps. Then I think you basically just look at minimum wage job now, really, with Uber, if you're lucky. So one of the nice things about Mystro is when you're using the Uber app and you accept a job, you don't then get to find out where you're going to drop off from. So unless you can remember the actual address that you're dropping off from the job offer, you're stuck. But when you're using Mystro, you can flick through to the Mystro app, which lies underneath the Uber app while you're on the job, and it actually gives the full address of where you're going to. So even if you're on the way to pick up, you can actually see where it's going to after. So that's quite a nice little touch. A whole lot nicer than the Uber, which once you've accepted and you're on the way to pick up, you don't know where you're going to be dropping off at. So yeah, so I think I've done over 100 now. Have a quick look. I haven't rushed. It hasn't felt like it's been a busy day today. £98.76. Now, it's 4 o'clock, so about 7.5 hours. But I've had a good 2.5 hours off during today, so I've done £98 in 6 hours. So my turnover online time is running around £15, which isn't bad for a Tuesday after the bank holiday. What I'll do is once I start getting used to the app, I'll put in that filter on the hourly pay, and sort of try and edge it up and see where the sweet spot is. But I'll start off at £25 an hour, and then we'll move it up bit by bit. Try and find a sweet spot where you're getting enough work coming in, but you're not doing very low rates. But definitely thumbs up, even though it's an American app, and you just have to ignore the dollar signs, it's just working great. Right, so we're now in the height of the rush hour traffic is 4:45. I've just picked up a job, follow-on job from the last one, and it looks like it's a sort of school type one,
Turn right to stay
sort
on
of
Western
a
Valley
wait and
Road,
return
then
type of
turn
one,
right on High Crossing Lane.
which I don't want. I don't want a multi-stop. So after I've done this job, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my filters and set no multi-stop runs. And because it's taking me so long now because of the traffic, I'm going to reduce the radius or the distance to the job from 2 miles down to 1 mile. It is getting busy, rush hour traffic, things are moving very slowly, so I want to try and concentrate more on those jobs which are really local to me, which I can now do using this app. It's great. Right, so I've done that trip now. I'm going to add on 2 new filters. I'm going to keep doing the multi-stops, but the filters I'm going to add on, I'm going to add one on and change one. The one I'm going to add on is exclude stacked rides. Now, does that mean I won't be able to take an offer until after I've dropped off, which is what I prefer, because we are now into rush hour traffic. So let's put that on, and I'm going to do pick-up distance no more than 1 mile during the rush hour. So our filters now is pick-up distance is less than 1 mile. User rating must be at least 4.5. And minimum fare is £4.50, and with excluding stacked rides. So we may not get any more rides while we've got passengers on board. We'll see what goes on. Right, that was an interesting one because it's making me think about other filters I need to get efficient. This was a job out from Rogerstone to Abertillery. Now the Mystro said it was worth £31.86 an hour, which sounds good. We'll call it £32 an hour. The problem is I'm in Abertillery, which means I am not going to get another job, or probably won't get another job until I get back to Newport. So that £32 an hour is actually £16 an hour, because I've still got to get back home or back into area. Now, of that £16 an hour, I've got to subtract £7 an hour, which are my working expenses based on the 40-hour week. I'm now down to £9 an hour. So I did that job for less than national minimum wage. I'm £3.20 behind on national minimum wage and nothing towards holiday pay. So what I think I'm going to do is, once I get used to the app and tried out a few things, one of the filters I'm going to put in place is a drop-off filter. I'm going to draw up a zone for drop-offs that will be no more than 5 minutes drive away from the core Uber area. So I won't be doing any more Abertilleries or Cafinis or anything like that, because the pay isn't sufficient. So yeah, it also means there'll be no more Bristol airports and stuff, or Bristols. But I've got to make sure that every job I do is covered by minimum wage. Otherwise I'm fighting a losing battle. Excuse all the flair. So that's one of the filters I'm going to have a real think about. Try and figure out an area, probably stretching from, say, Maiga down to Barry Island, taking Cardiff, Newport, Bedhalf. And then do maybe 5 minutes drive, maybe 10 minutes drive, and put that up as a drop-off zone. So only I know if I take somebody somewhere, I know I'm just a few minutes away from getting another job. Because now I've probably got a 30-minute drive, 25-minute drive back to Newport and back to Uber area. And that needs paying for. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock. I started at 8:30, but I had about 2.5 hours downtime today. So that's what, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. 11 till 6 is 7 hours. And I've done £136.21. So just short of £20 an hour. I think that's right, isn't it? Let's go 8, it's going to be 3.5, 9.5, subtract 2.5, yeah, 7 hours. 7 hours. So I've done that, 137 hours. So considering it's a Tuesday, it's not been too bad. It doesn't feel as though I've been particularly busy. I've certainly not got a headache of doing all the calculations and working out. And I've not got frustrated at all today with crap jobs coming through because they don't come through. So yeah, not too bad at all today. I think I'm going to head off home. I'm just coming through Pontypool. If I catch anything to take me home, I'll do that. But for Tuesday, yeah, acceptable. What, 18, 15, 19 pound an hour? Not too bad. Right, so that's it, end of shift. Sorry if it's a bit jaunted and mixed up and not very well structured today. But I just wanted to give a feedback on my first day using Mystro on shift. Very impressed. A few things I need to do. The main one I want to do is to set in place that drop-off zone so I don't end up going out of area and working for less than minimum wage, which is what happens at the moment because Uber just doesn't pay enough for you to come back and stay within the national minimum wage. So that needs to be done so I don't do any more long trips. I want to start tweaking the amounts per hour to try and squeeze out as much money as I can as for these jobs while still remaining busy. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, take care and safe driving. Just a quick add-on at the end. There seems to be an issue with the filter for stacked rides. So I've had stacked rides on, and when the rides have been coming in, they've been on screen for about 2 seconds and disappearing off without you having time to click and accept. And I thought, ooh, Uber's caught up with me. Uber's don't like it and he's trying to get around it because it was still pinging and going through on a normal app. So I've switched off stacked rides and it's all gone back to normal. So there's a bit of a caveat for you. If you get problems with stacked rides filter switched on, just turn it off and it will no problem. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Till next time.